Good evening and welcome. You're watching FYI. I'm Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor. Now, today on the program, we'll be talking all about the sudden surge in COVID cases that we've seen in the country. What's clear at this point from this surge is that it is not only isolated in the two most talked about states, that is the state of Kerala and Maharashtra, but at least 5 other states that are seeing a sudden surge in the number of these cases, triggering fears that is this a second wave of sorts, or is it a third wave, if you're in Delhi, for instance, that we are going to witness in the country in the days to come. Also, following this surge, fresh restrictions have been put in place in all these states. Night curfews, school restrictions, colleges as well, restrictions in gatherings as well that has been reinforced. Maharashtra government had a meeting yesterday. They had their set of restrictions come in yesterday. Punjab government had a meeting today that has also meant that fresh restrictions have come in place. We'll talk about all of that on the program. Also, a strange sort of thing came out from the health ministry today. They said that there is no one India strain. Remember the Maharashtra strain that we kept talking about for days? Dr. Guleria on NDTV said that India strain is highly contagious. Well, the health ministry believes there is no one strain in the country that can be called the India strain. There are in fact about 187 strains that are seen across the country. 2 of them are actually from Maharashtra. The other 3 found across the country are from Brazil, from South Africa, from UK. The other thing which is fascinating in this surge is that while the number of cases are increasing, the number of deaths are still under control. So that's also a fascinating study or a trend that is emerging from these fresh surge in cases. And as a fallout of that, the government has now asked all the states and union territories to increase their testing. They've also asked for genome sequencing being done from clusters that are emerging as COVID hotspots. These are clusters like one in Bengaluru that we've been reporting on how there were 2 parties that happened in one complex and about 10 people who got COVID from that one building alone. That has been sealed. Several other buildings reporting sort of the same trend. Maharashtra also a similar story. So what exactly does this mean? Is this just one sort of surge and there could be more to come? Is this just one bump in the road and we will see several of these as we finally look ahead at COVID-19 and a world in midst of this pandemic? That's what we'll be discussing on the show today. Very delighted to have with us on the panel Dr. Shahid Jamil, virologist, somebody all of us hugely respect when it comes to his opinion on where this is going. He's, of course, a director at Triveni School of Biosciences at Ashoka University. We also have with us Dr. Sunila Garg. She's a very important voice when it comes to COVID in the country, member of the India Task Force, which is fighting COVID at this point. We also have Dr. Subhash Solanki from Maharashtra joining us, and very important to understand his perspective on the story, on what exactly is the story that's emerging out of Maharashtra. All right, and then we'll also shortly be joined by Dr. Chakrabarti from Bengaluru, also to give us a similar understanding. Let me give the first word to Dr. Jamil at this point. Doc, what is your assessment on where the COVID story in India is going at this time? Is this a surge, like I said, which is just one of the many to come?
Well, the numbers have certainly been going up slightly if you look at the national level over the past 6 or 7 days. If you break them down by states, then Maharashtra is definitely surging much more than anywhere else. Punjab is surging a little bit. Kerala has sort of stabilized. In fact, it's going down a little bit. But still, since Maharashtra puts out about 20% of cases overall in the nation at this point, any surge in Maharashtra is seen in the national figures as well. And that's what we are seeing.
In fact, just a quick note for our viewers there, Maharashtra and Kerala together contribute to about 75% of the positive cases across the country.
That's right. But at this time, Kerala is sort of maintaining at a steady level, whereas Maharashtra seems to be going up over the last 6 or 7 days. So I think it's a little too early to say whether it's really the second wave or not, or whether it's simply a blip on the radar. I think let's hold our horses. Let's not get too, let's not get too anxious about it.
I get your point. I'm not saying the fear is that a second wave is there, but what I'm trying to understand from you, Dr. Jameel, is that over the next few months now and years perhaps, who knows, God forbid not, but over the next few years, will we keep seeing these sort of surges come in, these small blip in the road sort of, that will keep happening now?
Absolutely. This will keep happening. And that's why I think it's important to look at regions separately, not just focus on an all India figure, but to sort of break down regions and start looking at those regions, because the national figures may not show you those blips or those surges, but region specific ones will. And this will happen because as time goes on, people who have been exposed earlier, their protection will wane off. So they will go from becoming resistant to becoming susceptible. This is going to continue to happen for the next couple of years, and it will slowly go down.
Important point there being made by Dr. Jameel. Let me bring in Dr. Sunila Garg now. Dr. Garg, we heard the Health Ministry press conference today, and they came out and said that there is no one India strain that we can sort of equate or say that that's responsible for this current surge. What was not answered in that press conference was that what exactly is responsible for this present surge then?
See, presently what is most important part is that we have to remember that we have been having mutations since long. It's not that it has happened now. These mutations have been happening since long time, and since last 2 months actually we are getting, because you see our genome sequencing, we have started focusing on this now. Because first we learned from UK that there are different sequencing of viruses which are coming to our attention. And that's where we started focusing upon our travelers, and we also brought out the guidelines for our own people. So, now it is that we are looking at, when Dr. Jameel has already pointed out that we need to look at every state differently. We need to look at the types of strains, whether they are UK strain or it is a Brazil strain. We need to look at each strain differently, but at the same time, most important, as you said, that Kerala has been able to control that. It is because Kerala for a long time struggled hard to control the pandemic, though it had its best practices. But now you see, because of the containment part and testing, treatment and quarantine and, cluster isolation, they've been able to take care of that. But this will be, remaining as if we are going to open, and we are going to open without responsibility. So we will keep getting cases with mutations, across the country if we don't follow precautions, like it is happening in Chhattisgarh.
Dr. Garg, if I follow your point correctly, and this is what the Health Ministry said as well, that people are simply not following protocol. They are mingling, there are gatherings happening, and that's why this surge in cases. But the fact is that's not restricted to Maharashtra or Kerala. That's happening in UP, that's happening in pole-bound states like West Bengal, that's happening in Delhi also, and all of us are witness to it. Then why are we not seeing surges in these states?
See, primarily it depends upon Delhi also. At one point of time in November, if you remember, we saw, or before that, from September to November, we saw quite a number of cases. After that, we went down. And also our Sero survey showed that, we had nearing to about 70% of the population had antibodies. So that could be one of the reasons for not having immediate surge. But, if we don't focus on the vaccination immediately, then, we are bound to face this problem. So from this channel, I like to say that we need to promote as much immunization as possible so that, we can take care of these variants.
With you on that. Absolutely. Yeah. But since you talked about the Sero positivity, let me bring in Dr. Anki at this point. Dr. Subhash joining us from Maharashtra here. Dr. Subhash, if you look at the Sero positivity, what baffles me a little is that if that is an argument being used for Delhi for not reporting so many cases, what is then the argument for a surge in Pune, a city which has the maximum Sero positivity in the country? How is it that a surge is being reported there?
Well, I think we have to appreciate that as far as this pandemic is concerned, in spite of so much of knowledge available to us, still there are many questions which remain unanswered. And as far as Pune is concerned, as you have rightly said, in the Pimpri-Chinchwad and Pune area, we did these surveys, and some of these areas were even as high as 70%. Please remember, these Sero survey reports are definitely patchy ones. It's not, you can't apply one rate throughout the city of Pune or even state is a too big
area specific, you're saying.
Area specific. Okay. Number two, the antibodies are bound to go down as and when things, person who is already infected doesn't mean that his level of protection will remain for a pretty long time or for lifelong. That is not the situation.
Right.
What's happening in Maharashtra?
Then Dr. Subhash, can you give us an insight into what is the condition in Maharashtra at this point?
Yeah,
and break it down to us that currently the patients that you're getting in the present surge, are they any different from the previous ones?
Yeah, I think, kindly give me a little more time.
Sure.
I was in Akola and Amravati in last week. And the rate with which cases have increased, literally in 1 week, tripling has happened. I was in Amravati and in the area where we tested 700 and odd number, 350 were positive. I have seen in towns, a complete locality is affected, and in that area also, which was not seen in earlier part, that is entire families are affected. If there are 4 or 5 members, everyone is affected. That was not seen in the first phase. So as far as Maharashtra is concerned, which was initiated 10-15 days back, starting from Nagpur, ending up to Aurangabad, is now slowly propagating towards the rest of the Maharashtra. And it will be absolutely unwise on part of anyone, whether it's the government of India or anyone, to feel that it will remain in Maharashtra alone. It is bound to happen that it is going to get propagated unless the interventions take very active sort of intervention takes place in Maharashtra.
Are you suggesting travel restrictions between states?
It could be eventually, if we are not in position to contain at the micro containment level or even at the towns level, and if it affects larger areas, situation can go worse. But at the same time, we have to appreciate 2 points, one on the negative side, one on the positive side. Negative side is whether genomic studies are going to bring out exactly what mutation has taken place, which is resulting into this situation.
Okay.
My epidemiological investigation in these areas is clear pointer that transmission rate have definitely increased. Number 2, the case fatality or the death, to put it in a simple terms,
lower.
The total number of deaths have not enhanced, they have not increased.
Right.
So
I talked about that. Yeah, that's a trend actually we are seeing across states. That's not unique to Maharashtra. That's something we're seeing in other states as well. Let me bring in quickly Dr. Chakrabarti at this point. Dr. Chakrabarti, first question to you. In Bengaluru, what is the current state? Same question. Are these patients showing any other symptoms, any difference in what you've seen earlier? And then also, I wanted to understand, is it happening mostly because we've seen gatherings happen, or what's your opinion?
Yeah, thank you for giving me an opportunity. See, I have been practicing now for the last 1 year, and the vaccines have just rolled in about a month, and we have been successful having 2 doses of vaccine. But as I see, the only best way to protect ourselves from the virus is to use universal protection, wearing masks properly, keeping your hands.
And that's not happening in Bengaluru? Are you suggesting that?
It is terribly stressed in Bangalore. We have a task force constantly vigilant about people not wearing a mask. There's a huge fine on people not wearing a mask. Even if you're in a car, they expect all the passengers in the car wearing a mask. So there has been a lot of positive inputs from the Bangalore, and we have not seen as much as a surge as we're seeing in Maharashtra. But we are definitely better off compared to other states, as we were quite.
No, but what's causing this surge in Bengaluru?
In Bangalore, we don't have as much surge because now we are seeing with the movement of traffic across states, we have not contained people coming from other states. So the new viruses strains can impact a lot of people when they stay in close communities. So as long as we don't follow norms like protecting ourselves from getting the virus, it is impossible to contain the virus in a big way.
I think that's a underlining factor that everybody is pointing out. I want to take a quick break. When I come back, I want to talk about how the government is actually fighting out this surge. We've seen a lot of night curfews put in place, but is that really solving any purpose? That's on the other side. Welcome back. On FII, we've been trying to decode what exactly is this new surge in the country all about, what are the factors that are contributing to it, and how can we keep ourselves safe and actually put a full stop on this surge. Let me go back to Dr. Shahid Jamil at this point. Dr. Jamil, like I said before going on break, a lot of restrictions that have actually been put in place by these various states that are reporting surge have been night curfews. How effective are they in your opinion?
Well, I mean, the virus doesn't come out just at night. So, I think if a curfew has to be put, it has to be put at times when people mix in large numbers. In UP, we saw curfew happening on weekends. I mean, does the virus come out only on weekends? I mean, some thinking has to go into it. So I don't think it makes any difference. I was actually quite fascinated with what Dr. Salunke was saying, that although the surge is happening in certain parts, but the numbers of the fatality is not going up.
Yes.
This holds on. This actually tells me that the virus is mutating to become less virulent. And this will happen with time. The virus is getting towards becoming endemic in our population. And we are seeing this happen in real time. This is actually quite fascinating.
Right. Dr. Garg, your opinion, if the health ministers and chief minister of states are listening to you, what is your recommendation on what they should do to try and control this surge?
See, the most important thing is to control individuals' behavior. And we have to follow SMS, that is sanitizing, masking and social distancing. And also we have to again revive back our cluster containment strategy through micro cluster containment.
And so across the country, you're saying, not only in these states?
Yeah. To begin with in these states, and then we have to keep a watch on rest of the states as well. Because you see, over a period of time, what we saw was number of tests were declining, contact tracing also declined. And also we need to be very, very vigilant as to how you see we are behaving in terms of this disease in different districts as well. Because it's not one state. Now we have to look at district-wise prevalence also of emergence of different types of infection. So that is one of the important things which will make a difference. So I feel that.
And what about a domestic travel restriction, or at least carrying your testing results with you while you travel?
I think that is most important. We need to be very clear that we need to be, having the negative this thing, because ultimately, as I said, we are dealing with the individuals who are not following precautions. And though government has been coming out with different guidelines from time to time, but over a period of time, what I see is that, we are, somewhere becoming complacent. We feel that, we can do like locals have opened, people are still, in Mumbai, as I'm talking of, people are not wearing masks and all that. So somewhere, it has got to be a comprehensive strategy. Otherwise, we will keep on dealing
with...
But
Dr. Garg, for example, there are going to be elections in these 5 states. We are going to be seeing many more gatherings coming up. And West Bengal is already seeing it, Northeast is already seeing it amongst other states. So how do you say it's only happening because of gatherings?
See, another thing I will tell you at this juncture also, Government of India already has come out with the electoral guidelines also. But only thing is, it's a question of implementing these guidelines, because nothing has been left to chance. And every, guideline regarding the polling booth or how persons will come, they will vote, they will stand at a safe distance.
Everything I was talking more about political rallies where all these restrictions, I mean, it's not supervised in that manner.
Yeah, this is one of the things which has to be, kept in mind, that during the rallies as well, I think if somewhere we can bring out control that nobody, basically should be, first of all, we should not be such big rallies. And then, again, and we earlier had looked at the virtual rally part of it also. So we need to look at, and because country safety comes first. That is number one thing.
That's true.
And then we need to reach the last mile also with regard to, prevention and control of this disease. As pointed out by all the other panelists, that this is going to become endemic, and we need to
I'm sorry to cut you short because I'm running out of time. I quickly want to leave our viewers with a couple of takeaways from today's program, which are very important. Number one, COVID is not gone anywhere just simply because the numbers are getting down. There could be several such surges coming our way in the times to come. A little bump in the road is going to keep. This is something that will keep happening in the times to come. Number two, travel restrictions is what is a recommendation coming in from experts at this time between states, and also RT-PCR testing before you take travels. Number four is also gatherings to be kept under control. And number five, night curfews don't really work. So I hope all of that comes handy to our viewers and also to the government. And we really hope they are listening. To all of you, thanks for watching. Good night.